Hi there, this is Alan Begg from TEFL. Welcome to today's lesson. If you get any value from this lesson, please like, share and subscribe. The topic for today's lesson is going to be apostrophes. Not spelt like this. We'll come on to that later. It's going to be a PPP style lesson: presentation, practice and production. Let's do a little warm-up exercise to see what you may already know about this week's topic of apostrophes. Which apostrophe option is correct to fill in the blank for this example? The blank old teddy bear needed a wash. Is it the boy's old teddy bear needed a wash? Is it the boy's old teddy bear needed a wash? Or is it option 3, the boy's old teddy bear needed a wash? What is the correct use of the apostrophe? It's option 3. The boy's own teddy bear needed a wash. BOY apostrophe S. Example 2. You blank have said that. Is it option 1? You shouldn't have said that. Is it option 2? You shouldn't have said that. Or is it option 3? You shouldn't have said that. It's option 1. You shouldn't have said that. Example 3. Blank soon be on my way to blank. Is it option 1? I'll soon be on my way to yours. Is it option 2? I'll soon be on my way to yours. Or is it option 3? I'll soon be on my way to yours. Which is the correct use of the apostrophe? It's option 2. I'll soon be on my way to yours. Example 3. I see the blank have a new car. Is it option 1? I see the Jones have a new car. Option 2. I see the Jones have a new car. Or is it option 3? I see the Jones have a new car. What is the correct use, the correct placement of the apostrophe? It's option 1. I see the Jones have a new car. Example 5. The blank pet rabbit has escaped. Is it option 1? The class pet rabbit has escaped? Is it option 2? The class's pet rabbit has escaped? Or is it option 3, the class's pet rabbit has escaped? What's the correct use of the apostrophe? It's option 3, the class's pet rabbit has escaped. How did you get on with those examples? Did you already know something about the subject? Let's delve a little bit deeper. What is an apostrophe? An apostrophe, which is this symbol here, is used to show that certain letters have been omitted from a word. For example, a contraction apostrophe, i.e. she's or its. This is she is and this is it is. So a letter has been omitted from a word. The apostrophe symbol can also be used to show the possessive form of a noun. So this is a possessive apostrophe. For example, John's book. This is the book belonging to John, John's book. An apostrophe can also be used to indicate the plural form of lowercase letters. Here's an example of a plural apostrophe. Many designers' clothes. So this is the clothes belonging to many designers. The designers is plural and the apostrophe comes after the S in this example. There are 3 different uses of apostrophes. Type 1, possession. Type 2, contraction. And type 3, plural. We just saw some examples of each of those. Let's look at type 1, possession. When we use an apostrophe to show possession, we typically, not always, but typically, place the punctuation mark, the apostrophe symbol, at the end of a noun followed by the letter S. This shows that whatever comes next belongs to the noun that has the apostrophe. Here's an example to make that clearer. The boys' clothes were covered in mud. So boy apostrophe S shows that the clothes belong to the boy. We use an apostrophe and the letter S with the noun boy to show that the clothes that were covered in mud belonged to him, the boy. Sometimes the noun that we are showing possession with already ends in the letter S. Different writers approach what to do differently. For example, if we were writing about a character named Mr. Roberts, so Mr. Roberts' name ends in an S. Here are the different ways that people might approach it. You might write, Mr. Roberts' car had broken down. So you keep Roberts the same and put the apostrophe at the end of Roberts. Notice how in this case we do not use an additional S. We simply add an apostrophe to the end of Mr. Roberts to show possession. But this isn't the only way you can approach it. Here's another way that some people write it, and this is equally correct. There's no right or wrong way, it's just whatever your personal preference is. Mr. Roberts's car had broken down. Notice now that we've got the extra S, we're pronouncing it. Mr. Roberts's car had broken down. Here we use an apostrophe and the additional S. Without a standard rule, writers are free to make their mind up whether to add the additional S after the apostrophe or not to. Personally, I don't. I think Roberts's sounds a bit of a mouthful. I would prefer Mr. Roberts' car had broken down, and the position of the apostrophe would indicate that the car belonged to Mr. Roberts. Some businesses or colleges require a particular style. So if you are writing for work or school, it is best to check what version, what option they prefer. Otherwise, you're free to pick a style which you personally prefer. Please note, there is also a third way to approach this. Some writers would simply write the word how they would say it. So with Mr. Roberts, they would more likely to write it as Mr. Roberts' car, because that would be how we would pronounce it. So that's my preferred option personally. For a name like Mr. Jones, however, they may write it as Mr. Jones's car, because we would typically pronounce it in that way. Again, it really is a decision for the writer, unless there is a style that you must stick to for a particular reason, such as work or an academic institute. Here's some examples of apostrophe use for possessives, for possession. The team's strips are red and yellow. The apostrophe is coming after team and then the S. The apostrophe indicates that the strips belong to the team. In this example here, something is wrong with Alan's laptop. Alan apostrophe S. The apostrophe indicates that the laptop belongs to Alan. Example 3. The dog's puppies are so cute. position of the apostrophe here, again, is possessive. The apostrophe indicates that the puppies belonged to the dog. Apostrophes can be used for nouns that are plural. For example, parents, plural noun. My parents' house is just around the corner. The apostrophe is coming after the plural noun. The apostrophe indicates that the house belongs to more than one parent. Let's go meet the Smiths' new kitten. The apostrophe indicates that the kitten belongs to more than one of the Smiths. So it's a new family cat, and the family are the Smiths. Don't throw away the kids' art project. The apostrophe coming after the plural kids indicates that the art project belongs to more than one of the kids. Apostrophes can be used for single nouns and proper nouns which end in an S. Curtis's teacher asked for his homework. So the proper noun Curtis ending in an S has the apostrophe after the S. Again, as we've seen, there's no hard and fast rule as to how you do this. It's your own personal choice. You could have Curtis' teacher asked for his homework, or you could have Curtis's teacher asked for his homework. Both of these are correct. The class's pet rabbit was missing, so this indicates the pet rabbit belongs to the whole class. Again, you could have apostrophe S. The class's pet rabbit was missing. Both of these options are correct. That was type 1, possession. This is type 2, contraction. This is the second most common way to use an apostrophe. When using an apostrophe to show contraction, we place an apostrophe within a word to show that we are omitting some letters of two separate words, forming them into one word. That might be more than one letter, it might be one letter, it might be more than one letter. Here are some common examples. Don't is a contraction of do not. Can't, which is a contraction of cannot. I've, a contraction of I have, and we've, a contraction of we have. There are plenty of different words that we typically contract. The trick is knowing where the apostrophe goes. Unfortunately, there isn't a hard and fast rule, so knowing how to use an apostrophe for contraction comes down to practice and learning. In the examples above, the contraction seems logical because we omit part of the second word in all 4 cases. The O from not in the first 2 examples, and the HA from have in the second 2. But this logic doesn't always continue. For example, won't is the contraction of will not. Here there isn't a clear logic to the contraction, so again, knowing how to write certain contractions simply comes down to seeing other people use them correctly and learning. I've seen that movie before. The apostrophe is here between the I and the VE, I've. The apostrophe has replaced the HA in I have. I've replaced the HA with an apostrophe to contract I have to I've. She'll be visiting the dentist tomorrow. In this example, we've contracted she will. We've replaced WI with an apostrophe to go from she will to she'll. We're on our way to the campsite. The apostrophe has replaced the A of are, so instead of we are, it's contracted to we're. The final type of use for apostrophes is plural. Whilst some writers approach the rules surrounding apostrophes in slightly different ways, as we've seen already, it is generally agreed upon that when we show that there are multiple letters, numbers or symbols, we use an apostrophe and an S to avoid confusion. Here's some examples. If you're talking about plural of the letter A, it's A's, B's, ones, twos. So the letter and then the S, the apostrophe S, and numbers also the number and then the apostrophe S. When not to use an apostrophe. There are some cases where individuals use an apostrophe when it isn't necessary, and in fact they can be using them inappropriately, wrongly. These cases are relatively common, so we'll look at some of the most common mistakes to help you avoid them for yourself. Regular nouns. A regular noun is a noun that simply adds an S or ES to the end to show plurality. In these cases, mistakes are common when trying to show plural possession. Let's look at some examples. For example, the guy's party was fun. If you use that form, the guy apostrophe S, that suggests that it was just one guy whose party it was. The correct use would be the guys. The guys' party was fun. The guys suggests that it was multiple guys hosting the party. So plural possession. These are all examples of plural possession. The third apostrophe use we covered to show plurality is likely the reason for this confusion. We only use an apostrophe to show plurality for letters, numbers, and symbols, never a noun. The cars drove by quickly. That would be incorrect. What would be correct is the cars drove by quickly. So you don't use an apostrophe S to indicate that the word is a plural. Cars does not have a plural. It does not have an apostrophe. This is an example when more than one possesses it. Sometimes you may need to write a sentence in which more than one person possesses something. Here, only ever put the apostrophe and the S to show possession after the second name. What does that mean? Let's see an example. What would be incorrect would be to say Kelly's and June's house wasn't far away. This suggests that Kelly and June live separately. If that were the case, the house would have to become houses. So, for example, it'd be Kelly's and June's houses wasn't far away, or in fact it would be weren't. Kelly's and June's houses weren't far away. But here we're only referring to one house, a singular house. So in that case, you'd put the apostrophe S for the second name, not Kelly, but June. Kelly and June's house wasn't far away. By using the apostrophe S in this manner on the second name, that indicates that both Kelly and June own the one house. They both live at the same house. That's an interesting example. How have you got on so far? Let's do a wee summary. Remember, 3 different uses of apostrophes. Type 1, possession, showing that something belongs to someone or something. Contraction, where you've missed out letters in 2 words to make 1 word. And plural. Let's do some multiple choice questions to see how much you've understood so far. What is the correct use of the apostrophe? Is it A or is it B? Here's A. I'm planning to write a book one day. Here's B. I'm planning to write a book one day. Which one has the correct use of the apostrophe? It's option A. I apostrophe M is a contraction of I am. I am planning to write a book one day. we've used the apostrophe to contract the I am to I'm, and that's the right place to put it, between the I and the M. What about this one? Is it A or is it B? Here's A. You're going to have a great time at the party. Or B. You're going to have a great time at the party. Which one's correct? It's B. Again, a contraction. U apostrophe RE is a contraction of UR. We've dropped the letter A and replaced it with the apostrophe, and that is the correct place to put the apostrophe, your. Example 3. I'm having a sleepover at Brian's house. So we've got two uses of apostrophes there. Is that correct, or is it B? I'm having a sleepover at Brian's house. It's option A. Now that's likely to be the right answer because there's probably only one Brian. If you had the apostrophe after the S, that would be type 3, indicating that Brian is a plural. That would be plural possession of more than one Brian. But the answer is more likely to be just one Brian. Example 4. Is it A? I can't wait to go out for dinner with my pals. Or is it B? I can't wait to go out for dinner with my pals. Can't, a contraction of cannot, and pals, so it's more than one pal. It's plural, not possessive. So you don't put apostrophe S in the plural because you're not indicating that anything belongs to one pal. You're talking about multiple friends, multiple pals. No apostrophe in pals. I can't wait to go out for dinner with my pal's cousin. I can't wait to go out for dinner with my pal's cousin. Now, you'll notice that the difference between question 4 and question 5 is the addition at the end of the sentence of the word cousin. So in this case, answer A is correct, and you do put the apostrophe in because it's the cousin of your pal. The cousin belongs to the pal. Here you're indicating possession. How did you get on with those? Let's do some more. If you want to play along, please pause the video and write your answer down. We'll go through the 10 questions first, and then we'll go through the 10 answers. Let's work through an example together first before we proceed. You really blank do that? Blank not safe. So the first blank is the negative of should, and the second blank is the positive of the word is. You really shouldn't do that. negative of should, and it's not safe, the positive of is. Question 1. Blank go to the gym after work. I'm looking for the positive of let. Question 2. Blank be lying if I said I was happy to do that. I and would. The contraction of I and would. Question 3. Richard blank studied hard for the exam, so he blank pass. First blank is had in the negative, and the second blank is did in the negative. Question 4. I text them and they said blank be there at 7 p.m. Will in the positive. Question 5. The blank favourite chew toy was missing, and this is dog and possession. Question 6. Blank attempts to start the car were a total waste of time, and John and possession. Question 7. We had dinner with the blank captain on the cruise last night. Ship and possession. Question 8. The blank football team won their first game on Saturday. Girl and possession. Question 9. Blank blank new hat. First blank is that and possession, and the second blank is Chris and possession. Question 10. Blank have been invited to Paul and blank house for dinner on Sunday. The first blank is a contraction of we and have, and the second blank is possession and Claire. Are you ready to check your answers? Here was the word example again. You really blank do that, blank not safe. So the negative of shouldn't and the positive of is. You really shouldn't do that, and it's not safe. Question 1. Blank go to the gym after work. Let and positive. It would be let's go to the gym after work. Let's would be a contraction of let us. Let's. Blank be lying if I said I was happy to do that. Contraction of I and would. It's I'd. I'd be lying if I said I was happy to do that. So when we contract would, we're actually getting rid of 4 of the 5 letters in the word would. Question 3. Richard blank studied hard for the exam, so he blank pass. So So had in the negative and did in the negative. Richard hadn't studied hard for the exam, so he didn't pass. Had not contracted to hadn't, and did not contracted to didn't. Question 4. I text them and they said blank be there at 7 p.m. So will and positive. I text them and they said they'll be there at 7 p.m. They will. You drop the W and I from will to get they'll. Contraction of they will. Question 5. The blank favourite chew toy was missing. So this is possession and dog. The dog's favourite chew toy was missing. So dog apostrophe S indicates that the chew toy belongs to just one dog. Question 6. Blank attempts to start the car were a total waste of time. It's John and possession. John's attempts to start the car were a total waste of time. So John apostrophe S indicates that the attempts belong to John. They were John's attempts. Question 7. We had dinner with the blank captain on the cruise last night. Ship and possession. We had dinner with the ship's captain on the cruise last night. So it's the one captain for the one ship, ship's captain. If he was the captain of several ships, it would be ship S apostrophe. That would indicate that the captain was the captain of more than one ship. Question 8. The blank football team won their first game on Saturday. Girl and possession. The girls' football team won their first game on Saturday. Now the clue here that it's girls with the apostrophe at the end is because of the use of their. If you were referring to the football team belonging to just one girl, then it would be girl apostrophe S. But then it wouldn't be their, it would be her. The girls' football team won her first game on Saturday. But in this case it's their, so it's multiple, it's plural. So again, this is indicating plural. Type 3 use of apostrophe. Question 9. Blank blank new hat. That and possession, and Chris and possession. And the answer is that's, the contraction of that is, that's Chris's new hat. Now, as we've explained, if you preferred Chris apostrophe S, Chris's new hat, that would be correct also. This is just my personal preferred way of doing it, Chris apostrophe, to indicate that the hat belongs to the proper noun Chris ending in an S. Question 10. Blank have been invited to Paul and Blank house for dinner on Saturday. The first blank is we have, and the second blank is Claire and possessions. We've been invited to Paul and Claire's house for dinner on Sunday. So we have the contraction to get we've, and this indicates that the house belongs to Paul and Claire, and it's one house, by having the apostrophe S on the second name. Here are a list of the references that I've used for this presentation. 7esl.com/apostrophe. They own the rights to this material. I do not. Thanks very much again for listening. I hope you got something valuable on that lesson on apostrophes. If you did get something from this lesson, please like, share and subscribe. This is Alan Begg from TEFL signing off for now. Until the next time, see ya.